Hey everyone, it's Landon with Sacred Soil Solutions, and today I'm going to show you how to make compost extract. In order to get started, we only need 4 supplies. We need some compost, we need a hose with a sprayer that has a high pressure setting, we need a mesh bag in order to filter the compost, and we need some sort of bucket or container to catch the extract. Other optional items are a watering can to put the extract into when we apply it to the garden, and also we may want to add a liquid microbial amendment to buffer our pH in some cases. So to get started, we need to find some compost. I have some fungally dominant compost that I made that I'm going to be using today. And in order to make a bucket, we really don't need very much. I have about a gallon here, but I'm only going to take a couple handfuls, and you can use a trowel if you don't like to touch it. So that's a couple handfuls of compost. And now I'm going to take my hose and I'm going to run the hose through this mesh bag that's holding the compost and into my bucket to catch it.
I opted to use the flat sprayer option as it lined up well with the shape of my bag, but you could also use the shower spray option or whatever seems appropriate on your own sprayer. I also usually hold the bag a bit lower to avoid any splashback or loss out of the bucket, but I wanted you to be able to see the extract coming out of the bag. I tried to hold the hose fairly close to the compost to maximize the pressure into the material, and I'll hold it in a given area until I start to see it running more clear, and then I will move to the other side of the bag. And by the end, the dark liquid should be running almost clear, and that indicates that the humic and fulvic substances have all been pushed out, along with the microbial life forms. If your bucket is getting full and your compost is still running dark, then feel free to stop and continue with a new bucket, or pour off your extract and then fill the bucket again.
And now that I have thoroughly extracted this compost, I'm going to pour the remnants into an extra bucket I have. You can also just pour this directly into your own compost pile, and that excess material is going to be best used being recomposted so that it can be populated with microbial life once again. One thing I would recommend differently than what you'll see in this video is to actually have a bag that is able to fit over the rim of your bucket so that you can tie it in place, and that way you don't have to hold your bag while you're using your hose. That's just a little thing that would be pretty nice if you are finding a bucket and bag to go together. It's not too big of a deal if your bag doesn't fit on your bucket, as I did not have any trouble holding my bag while using my hose, but it would be a little bit nicer. Now that I've finished extracting that 2-cup bag until it was running more clear, I have a chocolatey brown compost extract that I'm going to want to use as soon as I can. One additional step you may want to take is to pH test your compost extract if you don't know what the pH of the compost was. Most composts are going to run in the pH range of the high 7s and sometimes even up to 9. And that creates a pH lockout zone where you might actually bind up nutrients if you have an exceptionally high pH. Mine right now is at about 7.5, which is not too bad. But because plants really enjoy the 6.5 to 7 pH range, I'm going to add a cup of microbe master mix. And now that I've mixed that in, I'm going to pH test it again. You can just use pH strips, or if you know what the pH of your compost is, you can get a rough idea of what kind of pH buffer you might want to add with a liquid microbial amendment. So now that I've added just 1 cup of that microbe master mix, my pH on this extract is at about 6.6, which is very ideal for plants, so I'm very happy with that, and I will now go apply it directly to my garden. When applying your compost extract, you want to give it directly to plants so that they can start to create relationships with the microbes that were living in that compost. Right now I'm watering into a garlic bed. You might be able to see the little tiny garlic sprouts that I'm watering it into. And the 5-gallon bucket that I just extracted, that you just saw, will cover about 25 feet of garden space, 25 square feet. And you could dilute this further or use a watering can that has more of a shower head effect and spread it out further. There's really not a limit to how much you can dilute your compost extract. In some large-scale situations, there are farmers using 2 to 3 pounds, which is about 1 gallon of compost, extracted across an entire acre. So they're diluting quite a lot in order to spread across a much wider distance. In your home garden, you can use those couple handfuls to cover anywhere between 25 and 100 square feet. So in most home gardens, you'll be able to cover your entire garden bed system potentially a few times within a season with just one bag of compost. You'll definitely find some great benefits from doing that, and I would recommend focusing your compost extraction time period to the spring. And that's because when we have those typically alkaline composts, we are also getting other nutrients along with the microbes, including nitrogen. That will be a little bit more towards nitrate when we have that alkaline compost. And nitrates are going to favor vegetative growth. So if we're using an alkaline compost extract during a flowering period for our plants, we might disrupt their nutritional balance in terms of nitrogen. While the strength of our extract is an important factor when we're applying it, even more important is the quality of the compost that we're choosing to extract. So today I used a fungally dominant compost that has really high predator counts, and this allows my extract to serve as an inoculation of diverse soil life that the plants can start to pair with and gain relationships with for maximum benefit to their own health and the health of the soil long term. If you have any questions about the quality of the compost that you're using for an extract, I recommend speaking with the source of that compost and asking them for any microscope imagery that they might have in order to determine some of the qualitative successes or lack of success that may be present within that compost that you're looking to use. I hope after watching this video that you're feeling confident to go make a compost extract yourself in your own garden. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out so we can get you rolling on these amazing interventions in your garden space. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next one.